Here's Brody Brazil.
So when I say I'm reading the book Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker, PhD, in reality, I have to be honest, I'm not that great of a reader. For whatever reason, my mind, my brain, it just cannot stay locked in on pages. So I love audiobooks, and that's why I'm listening to this one. The narrator, Steve West, is doing a tremendous job. When I tweeted this, I don't know, last weekend, I really was about halfway in the book. Since then, I've made a lot of progress. I'm now on the final stretch. But back then, there was a chapter about dreams that really caught my attention. And by the way, this whole thing, this whole book on sleep, you're thinking to yourself, how interesting could a book on sleep be? Or like, what do I, as a person who sleeps every night, what do I not know about sleep? Like, I do it, I wake up rested enough, and we move on to the next day. But I'm telling you, there was so much that I've learned from this book about how to sleep better. And it's not that type of advice book. It's really more of an explanation book of all the things that maybe you've heard, and some are right and some are wrong about sleeping, but most importantly, how sleep really affects the body and the mind and promotes healing and reduces stress. I mean, sleep has so much restorative power, and the crazy part about it is a lot of us, we take it for granted. Like, are you really an expert on sleep? I said you do it every night. So do I. You think we'd know everything. Do you know everything about it? Do you think you do? Because I'm telling you, you read this book and you're going to be taken back, about how much you actually didn't know or how much you thought you knew and had most of it right. But there's a lot of extra insight here that is why I highly recommend you check this out. So anyway, chapter on dreams. That's what I was on, and it got me to thinking and asking some questions on Twitter. I was very curious to know what other people thought about their dreams specifically and the experiences they've had. So the first one I asked was this: are you able to remember a majority of your dreams clearly? 66% said no. Now, that surprised me. I'm in the camp of, yes, I am able to remember my dreams, but it's weird in a sense that not all of them entirely, like right off the bat, and not crystal clear, but usually what happens is I can remember one thing that leads me to a next, that helps me put together all the pieces, and all of a sudden I've kind of recreated it in my mind. But the other thing about it is usually when I wake up in the morning first thing, that's not when I actually remember the dream. Usually this comes like middle of the day. So hours later, for whatever reason, I'm better able to recreate this dream. Second thing here, are you able to realize in a dream that you are dreaming? Now, that's pretty powerful, right? And let me just go back here. 53% said yes. And I'm also in that capacity. I can a lot of times, now not all the time, I'll be honest here, I think it's more about 25% of the time I realize halfway through something, and it's usually when something surreal happens in a dream. Something appears out of nowhere, or it's a person I know doesn't exist or wouldn't be in this location. It's just when I start, it's like a movie. You know, you watch a fictional movie, and when something happens that's not real, you're like, that's not real. It's kind of like that for me in dreams. So yeah, I would say about a quarter of the time, I'm able to realize that I'm dreaming in a dream. Now that brings me to the next question here. Do you have control on the outcomes or plots during a dream? 71% said no, they do not have this ability. Well, guess what? I'm not claiming special powers here, but a certain percentage of the time, like I said before, about a quarter of the time I realize I'm in a dream. I would also say here, it's about a quarter of the time when I realize that I'm able to control the outcome or plot. For example, let's say that I'm on the basketball team and I have a wide open layup and I miss. And that's the panic dream. Oh, the crowd is laughing at him and I feel ashamed and, wide open layup. I just missed it. And all of a sudden I'm in that same situation again in the dream, whether my mind put me back in it or whatever. And I say, okay, dude, you're dreaming. You're going to make this one. Watch, you're going to make this one. And then I make that one. So that's an example of it right there, of controlling your dreams and and realizing halfway through that your brain is doing all the work and your brain is part of you. I don't know. I don't know how the conscious and unconscious relate. I do know all this obviously occurs in the deep REM sleep, but again, for whatever reason I can, on occasion, not all the time, I can actually control the outcomes and plots of dreams. I also don't like set them up. I'm not capable of saying, oh, I would like to be on the beach in Hawaii, drink in hand, like that. The setup never is my choice, but influencing what happens sometimes is the case. All right, here. Do you believe dream topics and scenarios can be the result of unfulfilled aspects of life? And 80% here overwhelmingly said yes. And what do I mean by unfulfilled aspects? Something you missed out on, something you regret, something you just flat out wish were different. And it is amazing that many people believe that it's something unfulfilled. But it's also not surprising, because these are things that are on your mind in the wake hours, things you're thinking of, things you'd like, a second chance at, or whatever it may be. And I don't even, when I asked that, it was referenced that way in the book. That's why I worded it that way. And the book said that a belief is that a lot of dreams and the subjects are because of unfulfilled aspects of life. But wouldn't surprise me, doesn't surprise me, though, that a lot of people feel that way. Personally, I am the type of person too to overthink everything. Interactions with other people, relationships, the way things went, the way a day went. I'll go back and rethink about it. I'm self-conscious, I guess, about that. And so maybe, I don't know, maybe that's why I've had some dreams like that. But yeah, it's not surprising that so many people feel like unfulfilled aspects fuel dreams. All right. Next one here. Are most of your dreams positive, neutral, or negative? Now, this was a main question I had. I should have put this one first. I didn't really do a good job of organizing these questions, so they're not in priority of my interest. But it is crazy, right? Because a neutral dream would be nothing good or bad or important or meaningful happens. You're just in this weird would probably have been the better word, right? But I just wanted to put neutral, just in case to broaden it a little bit more. It's easier defined if I say a good dream, a bad dream, or just neutral, whatever. So I'm interested in these results. I would have thought that more people would have most of their dreams be negative, because honestly, that includes me. I don't know that I ever have like a great dream. And when I do have a great dream, it's because it's somebody I wanted to see, or sometimes, to be honest, it's somebody who's deceased that I wish were still alive, and I get to see them again. But I don't have like going back to that beach in Hawaii with a drink in hand. I don't have that one a lot. I do have a lot of neutral dreams. Like, what was the point of that? I don't know why that was happening. It's just whatever, kind of float right through it. But I would say for me, it's a majority of negative dreams. And you're going to see the panic dream question come down there in just a second. But a lot of times for me, it's, oh shoot, I forgot something. I'm screwed something up. And I don't really have I'll save panic dreams for later, but the getting chased dream, had that once or twice years ago. But unfortunately, I would say that most of mine are negative. And I'm glad to see, though, that most people are in the neutral. They just have dreams about whatever, I guess. All right, do you ever experience a similar dream over and over? Now, this does not surprise me that a majority of the people here said yes, 63%, because, again, it's what's in your brain. These are thoughts and chemistry and experiences. All of this it's the same brain. It doesn't matter if you're awake or sleeping. Like, it's filled with the same stuff. And so the fact that similar dreams happen over and over, not a shock. And also there is something, by the way, in the book, which I won't completely give away here. There is an explanation of why people have a repetitive dream sequence. And in fact, why they keep having it over and over until something happens specifically to break that cycle. I don't want to give that away. It's in the book, so check it out. All right, if you have panic dreams, are they centered around, and I try to divide this as best I could. It's impossible to cover everything, but work or school, which are both, performance-related stressors, work or school or life experiences or other. Now, I don't know what other is. I just put it in case there's something else. I don't know what 12.5% of people are talking about. What I meant by life experiences are anything from relationships to health, good or unfortunately bad, or maybe you're about to become a parent, you're stressed out by that. Maybe you lost somebody recently, stressed out and sad by that. Like I said, relationships, breakups, divorce. I don't know what would happen if you lost your job. That's a life experience and it's work. Or maybe the stress of moving or buying a house or family stuff, whatever. But for me, it's not life experiences. Fortunately, and I have had enough life experiences that could and would stress me out, certainly. And I would also say too that, my work for things you do and you don't know, there's also enough stressors there that I've had. And not to mention the fact that most of my work is done in a very high pressure environment. It's live broadcasting and you can make yourself look really bad really quick and, on and on. It's a relatively high stress job. But it's not those things actually. For me, it was school. It was college. No, was it high school too? Maybe it was high school, but college is the last level of school for me. And so that's the one my brain maybe just sat on. And I would say not while I was in college, but maybe a couple years removed from it, I would have the same old dreams over and over. Sitting down in a classroom for an exam that I didn't study for, got to figure out what am I going to do? Or the other one was I'm on campus. I don't even know what day it is. I don't know. I lost the schedule of my classes. I don't know where I'm supposed to go next. When was the last time I even went to this class? Because I don't remember it. So have I not been going all semester? Like that's a crazy thought. That never happened to me in real life. That probably has never happened to anybody in real life. But all of a sudden, like that's my concern. That's my nightmare over and over and over again. And I also wasn't even like a bad student. I didn't get terrible grades and I don't know, but for whatever reason, it certainly stressed me out, or somewhere in my mind, it stressed me out and I lived the effects and dreams of it for years to come. And I'm sure a lot of other people do. I'm sure I'm not alone in this, but it was the lowest response here. Only 15% said that their panic dreams are centered around school. For me, yeah, it was definitely school. And like I said, I've had enough in the life and work categories to have those type of dreams. I mean, trust me, I just, for whatever reason, don't. So, all right. And then the last one here is, do your dreams come in regular frequency or bunches? And bunches also doesn't surprise me for the reason, and a lot of the reasons you would learn in this book about when you dream, why you dream, when you're more susceptible to dreams, what stage of sleep you're dreaming in. It doesn't surprise me that your body and your brain, right? When your brain is full about something and your body is in a certain sleep cycle over and over again, it doesn't surprise me that they come in bunches, just in terms of, over and over every night, or a lot of times. How many times have you had this where in one night you have a dream and you wake up from it and you go back to sleep and you're right back in that same dream scenario, place, people, whatever. That one is amazing to me, that your brain went right back to that. And I know a lot of people have that, the continual dream throughout a night where it's, segmented with 3 or 4 wake-ups in between. But yeah, it's also not surprising to me that people have a dream on a Tuesday night that they also have on a Thursday and a Friday and a Sunday. So there you go. But I thought those were interesting, and I really appreciate everybody who responded. I would also love to know your dream experiences. Anything I said, do you have the same thing? Do you have something else that's worth sharing? Maybe put it down in the comment section below. But this book right here, Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. Again, none of us are experts in sleep, but we all need it. We all rely on it, and it impacts so many facets of your life that you already do know, but so many more that you don't even know and that you would find out here in this book. So check it out. Until next time, everybody, sweet dreams.